Thanks for tuning in to this spooky edition of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. I'll unlock the mysteries of the mansions and catch those ghouls with your help. Thanks for tuning in, and have a safe and happy Halloween. Well, everyone, welcome back to more Luigi's Mansion Darkest Moon on the Nintendo 3DS. My name is Brian Saviano, otherwise known as the one and only Bricksobrian. And you may realize that now it is a post-play commentary video because the game, in a lot of aspects, is, as I have said before, very self-explanatory, which basically means there's not a lot you figure out stuff, but the game, it's not, I don't know. I can absolutely see why this was not not as well received as the first game here. So, yeah, and I'll talk about that in this video here. This is a little puppy. Hi, puppy. I'll talk about that throughout this video and probably the other videos as well, because I have a couple of these episodes that are post-play, but then for the finale, we're going to do, live commentary and all that. So, there's a lot of things that I just happen to miss in the game, because I'm just not paying attention, even with me having no face cam on. So that's why I decided to, record it, do the commentary afterward, because I found I wasn't really saying all that much of anything, I'm like, oh, here, I guess we're going here, I guess we're getting this chest here, oh, just random nonsense garbage like that. So I figured, why not just do this? So this is what I'm going to do for now. And hopefully you don't mind it as much. I know it's not as exciting as doing it live, I know. Or not live, but recorded and all at the same time and whatnot. But yeah, so I still have not found a Luigi costume that is not incredibly, ridiculously priced. I'm actually going to research that right now because I got nothing else to do. I'll give some tips and tricks and whatnot, things to look out for as I am playing, obviously, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon here. A lot of it is just me not realizing a specific thing, or I need to backtrack to a specific area, or something like that. But yeah, not a lot of tips to give right at this moment. So, for Luigi's Mansion 3, I definitely want to get a Luigi costume and play the game while in costume. I think that would make the most sense and be really cool. And now, the boys' version is $33. Now, as much as I want a kid-size Luigi costume, I don't. There's a girl's version that's more of a skirt, and it's a bit more poofy. That would, I'm sure, look great, but I'm gonna pass on that one. Oh, this is a cool one. How would you guys and girls feel if I wore this one? So it's a Luigi, but Luigi's carrying me. How about that? I think that would be pretty tremendous for being on brand there. Have a little knockoff Luigi carrying me, although this is pretty dope actually. Oh man, this might have to happen. Ooh, I don't know if I could play the game in this, but I definitely want it regardless. So this one's $45. Now, the Luigi costume I saw before was like $37 at one of those Spirit stores and whatnot. But this Luigi costume is inflatable. It's an inflatable Luigi costume, ladies and gentlemen. If I just wore a poofy Luigi costume for the entire playthrough of Luigi's Mansion 3, obviously I wouldn't wear the hat that's included because I just wear this hat. But that might be pretty cool. I love the inflatable costumes. I like inflatable things in general. I like the Reptar suit that I haven't worn in a year. I let my friend borrow it for a work party, and I just haven't seen him. And he hasn't had the suit on him. So, this actually gets kind of confusing right here, figuring out where to go for this whole section right here. But I do figure it out eventually. I have to go downward that way. But, yeah, I have that. I saw at an anime convention I went to, a small time thing, which I talked about before. They had a inflatable loot llama. Well, the frog is really present in the throat, jeez. But I saw, like, an inflatable loot llama from Fortnite that I could have tossed in the background here. But, like, there's no room for it. I can put it back there, but that's not enough room for a 8-foot tall, 9-foot tall loot llama that's inflatable. It's kind of ridiculous. And it wouldn't fit in the frame of the shot, and yeah, so no. I decided against it. As much as I wanted it, I did decide against it. So, I like the inflatable costumes because you can do more stuff with them, you know? You get the T-Rex, you get the, like, other types of dinosaurs you can get. Like, there's obviously Reptar, there's stuff like this. There's all sorts of crazy different things you can do with it. So, let me ask the High Council and see if that's actually possible. Like, should I do that instead? Because I feel like that's a bit more unique and unorthodox, you know? That can be all poofy. Like, the costume would go, like, up to here. Be all poofy. Like, when I actually, you know, play Luigi's Mansion 3, that might be pretty cool. So, not for 2, though. I'm keeping it more low-key with Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon here. Because, you know, hey, it's not quite Halloween yet. It's close. It's getting closer by the day. It's currently the 11th that I'm recording this. So, whenever you're watching this here. So, it's raining like cats and dogs outside. It's a Friday night. Could be out and about with the friends, with the homies, out at the clubs. I could be at the clubs right now, but no, I am here. I can confirm I'm here. I'm recording this because why not? I had a buffalo chicken pizza, a small one for dinner, and some rice pudding. So you know what? I thought, you know, I have to stay on brand. I have to get the rice pudding. That's my dessert, you know. So I got that. So that's like my meal for the remainder of the evening here. So, you know, it's just another Friday in paradise. I'm liking it here. So this section actually is a little confusing here. So you obviously deal with this here. There's a lot of sections where I don't realize that there is an uncoverable area. So like right there, I notice, right? Just because I'm looking for the footsteps of the puppy, that I find that the organ needs to actually be revealed. So, in this next section right here, you go up here, you know, place the keys and whatnot. Now, it took me about 15 minutes for me to realize, because he is hiding behind there, but I actually lost track of where he was. So, right about here is where I edit, and I just go over to, like, this section behind there, and I just forgotten where he was. I was too focused on the organ keys and Luigi to pay attention to where the Polterpup was, so I totally lost track of him, and I wandered around for quite some time. I was actually amazed at how I just didn't get what was happening, so that's why I decided to do a post-play here, and it was just taking a while. Like, each of these missions take about 15 or so minutes, and then the entire mansion takes about an hour, so you know, want to make sure I get things done in an efficient time frame here, so edit out all the nonsense and keep it nice and spicy for all of you here. So, you know, that's what I do on a Friday night. I'm going to be, you know, recording all these and doing all that, so I'm looking forward to, after I do a couple of these videos, I'm going to build the Lego Buyer's house from Stranger Things, because I need to chill. I need to relax, because I have tons of videos done, tons of videos that have been edited and whatnot, and I'm just excited to take a little mini itty-bitty break before Luigi's Mansion 3, and right after that, you get into Pokemon, and after that, you get into Christmas, and then it's just a whole big thing. So, I'm trying to pace myself correctly here. So, there's your Polterpup, and where else would he be? But probably in the toilet, right? No? Yeah, oh, yeah, right there. There's the toilet. Cool. So, yeah. I don't know if there's anything else that's, like, new-ish. I went to the, oh, that's a lot of money. Cool. I went to the Topsfield Fair, which was a thing that I guess I will talk about throughout this video, and probably a couple other videos, too. So, the Topsfield Fair, I'm going to blow my nose real quick, because I'm going to be unprofessional. I'm wondering why, like, I'm taking little pauses to breathe, and it's, like, because my nose is stuffed, and it's not, like, it's, like, all clogged up here. Am I getting sick? Oh, no. Oh, actually, I might have worked out that I take a break now while I'm sick, if I end up getting sick. So, I haven't been sick in a long time, though. So, where did the puppy go? He went, oh, in the sink. Okay, cool. So, I went to the Topsfield Fair. The Topsfield Fair is a fair, go figure, that happens in the North Shore of Boston. So it's north of Boston, and it is a agricultural fair. So I had talked about before me going to the Big E, which is a fair similar to the Topsfield Fair. The Topsfield Fair is much smaller. The Big E is a much bigger deal. In my Link's Awakening playthrough, I talk about how I, oh, actually, I should have edited right there. Because you can flash him with the flashlight and capture him right there. Because you have control of Luigi, and that's how you get that done. Now, I'm trying to figure out if Luigi, like, taking a breath once he leaves the room, if that means anything, you know? I'm trying to figure that out here. So, yeah, you can just re-find the puppy. I think he's in a specific thing, like a specific area in that location there. I don't know. But obviously I figure it out eventually, so there you go. But it's an agricultural fair. The Big E is a massive deal. Tons of people. Tons of, you know, butter everywhere. I talked about it extensively in my Link's Awakening playthrough in case you're curious. I still don't know what that does, but whatever. So I went to the Topsfield Fair. The Topsfield Fair is much smaller, but the same idea. You have a ton of... Is it easy? He's still in there? Okay, cool. You know, farm animals and carny rides, which were even more carny than they were at the Big E. The Big E had, like, an actual, like, group of people that was, like, a company that the carnies were. So they weren't, like, strangers. I mean, they're strangers, but they're not, like, the typical carnies. So, like, right there, you can totally just flash the flashlight there and get them. So I clearly don't realize that, and I keep going between the various rooms. So I went to edit like this to like chop it down a little bit, and then I didn't, and then I took like a 2-hour nap, which is not as much napping, it's sleeping, but like I guess I was very tired. So yeah, now is your opportunity to get the puppy. You can just, yeah, there you go. Just do that. You could do that the first time this all happens. So that mistake actually happens a little bit later in this playthrough too. So I clearly did not learn from my mistakes. So as I think was saying before with my excursion into the Topsfield Fair. So yeah, it's an agricultural fair. There's all sorts of stuff to do. You can go out and, you know, I'm gonna also hire this. That way I look a bit more alive here. I have all the lights off in the background because it's spooky season. So, and all the lights up here are off. So there's all sorts of stuff to do, all sorts of animals to see, butter to eat if you want to. There's fried everything. There's apple cider everything, honey everything. There's the biggest pumpkin in New England, which is like 2,000 pounds. There's all sorts of custom created pumpkins and whatnot. I'll actually share one of them with you here. Now, there's people who are making all sorts of awesome pumpkins, and they are like, they're not carved, they are painted on, because the fair goes on for 2 weeks. Now, if you leave a pumpkin out for 2 weeks, kind of no matter who you are, where you are, that's going to rot, and that's not going to be fun, and it's not cold enough outside yet to have that not happen. So, like, I'll show you some of the pumpkins that were there. So, this is like Lilo, or Stitch, from like Lilo and Stitch. So it's a whole big Stitch like that is a pumpkin right there. And like the arms are gourds and stuff, or they're paper mache, depending on what they are. So all sorts of different crazy creations here. There's this giant, and I know I'm totally off topic from the video, but hey, you know, that's fine. There's this giant like owl looking thing, like a griffin looking thing. Like that. Like that's all made out of like, you know, feathers of animals, like vegetables, like all sorts of crazy stuff like that. So it was very interesting. Obviously, you got to have a little bit of that Mario pumpkin head action right there, right? You know how it is. So there you go. There's that. So there's all sorts of ones there, and the ones that stood out to me, 2 of them in particular that were painted, and they were available for sale. And here they are right here. So it's Emmett and Wildstyle from the Lego movie. Now, if you've seen the Lego movie, you know what they look like, right? They look like Lego minifigures. But here's what they look like here. Now they got some lips that's some serious lip action going on right there. They're very they're something. They're very something indeed. So, you know, I don't know whose decision it was to put, like, because minifigures don't have, like, Wild Style has lips, sure, like lipstick. Emmett doesn't have lips. That's like, you know, like, I mean, humans have lips, but Emmett doesn't have lips. He has a smile. So I actually might have pulled a bad mistake here. So I was looking at all the pumpkins, and there's all sorts of pumpkins there, and some of them are better than others. Those were by far two of the least accurate of the pumpkins there. And I said, wow, these are awful, because those two in particular were pretty awful. And it turns out there was somebody, like, painting behind the curtain, like, painting other pumpkins. So I like, my friends were like, oh, don't say that. Come on, the artist is right there. And I'm like, well, I tried to reason with it and think, well, like, yeah, that's a jerk thing of me to say that they're bad, but they're kind of bad. You know what I mean? I have every right to judge. The court of public opinion has every right to judge what is good and bad. So I think that's bad. So here's the thing with this whole thing here. So this is a staircase, and this is what was really aggravating here. So what you need to do is go up these stairs and figure out the correct path to go. And every time you choose a wrong path, you get brought back down to the very start again. So this happens every single time. And here's a preview. So you see, like, all those stairs up that way, those are the clear ones, because, yeah. And so then it's marked by orange flames once you actually get them. So eventually, you're going to get all of them. So here I make a mistake. No, I don't, actually. Okay, cool. Like, you're going to get to them eventually, but you have to climb all the way back up each time. So it's kind of like padding the game out here. So what I actually do is I end up fast forwarding, like actually fast forwarding through this whole thing to show you the exact way for you to go. And just to show you how much time goes into this specific thing here. And if you hit one of those mice, you do go all the way back to the very beginning again. So it's not a, in my opinion, not a fun, like, little thing here, you know? Eventually you will get it, because once you head all the way back up here, you'll see, like, there's like a half second, so you fall all the way back if you hit one of the mice too, so that's annoying. But it'll show you, like, oh hey, here's like the next couple of ones that are like the deactivated flames there. That's how you do that. And it's quite a bit of flames here, so, and I messed that one up too. So it's only for a little while here, but it took me a lot longer than I thought it would, you know? And it was a very cheap way to pad out the boss battle. The boss battle itself is whatever, you know? It's fairly easy to get that done here. But, yeah. So, those were the pumpkins I saw. And they weren't great. Some of them were better than others, but a lot of them were very simple. And I did not buy any, you know? I have not carved a pumpkin in forever, probably like 5 years. Why am I staring at a wall? Oh, I'm trying to figure out the order, I think. I think I'm looking up a guide to figure out the order. I might be, actually. I don't know if I end up actually doing that, but whatever. Because, like, you don't even need a guide. Like, I mean, yeah, whatever. So, yeah, I haven't carved a pumpkin in 7,000 years. So, I mean, I have no right to judge, I guess. But, you know, as a Lego aficionado, I have every right to be like, man, that is less than stellar Wild Style and Emmett. And these were, like, done by, not by kids or anything. These were done by, like, adults, you know? So, like, when you're representing a character on a pumpkin, you want to make sure it looks good. You know, if you're selling this product here, you know, it's not some homemade arts and crafts thing from, like, a 6-year-old. It's like an actual thing you want to buy. So there you go. That's the full way you can get up here. So, yeah, I was called up by my friends for being a jerk. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. And I felt bad immediately afterward. I'm like, oh, how do I spin this? Like, how do I make this seem like I'm less of a jerk for me saying that and then this person hearing me of how bad those two pumpkins were? And there's really no excuse. There's nothing I could bounce back from and recover from to kind of redeem myself and be like, well, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, some of them, yeah, were better than others, but none of them were, like, stellar. you know? Like some of the ones I showed you, like the Mario, the Stitch, and all that, those were made by other people. Those were made for like a competition. Now, if those are being sold, that's a different story. But it was like a ton of different types of pumpkins. Like there's also Nightmare Before Christmas. Like, it's a pretty cool one. You know, there's all sorts of different cool pumpkins that are there, which obviously aren't just pumpkins here. Oh, here's like this staircase-looking thing. Weird-looking enemy here. So, and you know, I took all sorts of pictures all throughout here. This is one of my favorite ones, actually, right here. Just taken away entirely from the boss battle itself. So this is Snoopy, and it's made out of a pumpkin, but also like a gourd for the nose and like for the feet and legs too. Like there's multiple different types of things happening here, man. This is pretty stellar. Like that one I love. It's Snoopy and Woodstock. I was thinking of the bird's name, but it's Woodstock. So no, that one was by far my favorite. Just because it was really big too. It was like, you know, you can see all the ribbons that are on it too. So clearly, that's first for 2019. Yes, there you go. Not for 2018. It's not going to be a year old, just sitting outside. Let's see. Oh, here's like a dragon popping out of an egg. That's a cool one too, huh? Right? That's pretty sweet. That's a cool one. This one's all about pumpkins, I guess, this episode here. Oh, here's a cool one. This looks like a little frog, tadpole coming out of the water here. That's like a zucchini looking thing here. So it's not just pumpkins, it's other stuff too, you know? So that was that section of the Topsfield Fair. They did have the biggest pumpkin there. And it's also interesting to see, like, when you go to one of those fairs, they have also on display the award-winning best, like, bushel of things. So, like, what does the best asparagus look like? What does the best tomato look like? What deems a consistent bushel of tomatoes? What makes them better than other tomatoes, you know? The appearance, the density, the size, etc. It's all sorts of different things that go into making tomatoes look the best that they possibly can. So, it's very interesting to see. Now, am I going to start looking at all these different, you know, zucchini and whatever else that I see at the supermarket any differently? No. But, like, it's interesting to see that as involved as I am with this and this lifestyle and this thing, there's people out there who are so focused on making the best carrots that anyone has ever seen ever and bringing them to the Topsfield. Like, there's a guy somewhere in Massachusetts or New England who wakes up and he's like, these are the best potatoes I've ever seen. I'm going to enter these into the potato competition at the Topsfield Fair 2019. That's what he wakes up and says. That's what he wakes up and does, man. And you know what? Good for him. More ambitious goals than I have, for sure. I just play video games. That's easy enough. But growing like a prize-winning zucchini, a prize-winning eggplant, a prize-winning pumpkin, that's next level stuff. I have no idea how you'd even be able to do that. All right? Don't get it twisted. I'm not hating on anyone. But like, it takes a lot more effort to do something like that. You actually have to grow something. And apparently there's a way to make things grow and they grow bigger. You use milk, I think. I don't know. That's what my friend said. So maybe she was just pulling my chain, but whatever. So that was in like, it was all in like one barn area. And I'm definitely getting sick. This is not good. Like, just, I can feel the stuffles. I can feel it right here, man. But you know what? I'm going to power through Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. It's going to be great. So, what else was in that barn? Anything? No? Oh, they were serving hot apple cider. That was really good. Hot apple cider, really good. Very hot. Very, very, like, boiling hot. But you know what? I guess that's the point, right? Never really had the apple cider before, but it was pretty good. It kind of tasted like a more finely blended apple sauce, but it tasted good, like apple juice with like little bits of apple sauce in it. It was pretty good. It sounds kind of nasty, but it is pretty good. You got to just take my word for it on that one. So, and the apple cider donuts, Charles had one. He was broke, so I gave him like $3. No, it wasn't $3, was it? It might have been like $2. something like that, for a donut, which homemade hot apple cider donuts were good. And all these places all take cash only, so you can't whip out the credit card for a lot of these farm stands here. So close to that upgrade, still don't get it. So that's the entirety of the second area in Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. I'm going to tell more stories about the Topsfield Fair in the next episode, and probably the episode after that, as we head over to the third mansion that the game has to offer. I want to thank you guys and girls for listening, watching, tuning in, and meowing it out with me as always. My name is with the Snuffles O'Brien, a.k.a. Brian Saviano. And I'll see you again next time for more Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon on the Nintendo 3DS. It's going to be great. The best playthrough you've ever seen in your life. Peace out. Bye.